today, we're talking about Black business. And the reason why it's titled Black Business today is because we are going to discuss with our guest, future Dr. McCrady, about how we can help Black businesses grow and what it is that means when we talk about supporting Black businesses. So stay tuned on this episode. Welcome back to Black History Month 365. Stay tuned. We have our guest, right?
Happy to be back.
In February, nonetheless. How is it? A little chilly, right? DC?
Yeah, it's
Chillier
cold.
than DC? Warmer than DC.
Warmer than DC.
Warmer than DC, right? Chocolate City.
Yeah, Chocolate City.
Oh, how is it in
How
chocolate?
fitting, right?
Right. How is it?
You know, I love Chocolate City.
I know you do.
Again, I'm all things Black, so I'm excited about Black History Month. I'm excited about things I want to do with the kids at work for Black History Month.
Any bulletin boards for Black History Month?
You know what? No, only because we're still virtual.
Okay.
I think I'm going to do a lot of showcasing on my Instagram page for work, which technically could be my bulletin board for work.
It could be. That's a great virtual. You talked last time about out of the box, being out of the box, thinking outside of the box. Yes, so now that we have this new virtual world of commerce and virtual world of education and business and life, what are we doing to support? Because it hasn't stopped. Like you said, 365 being Black, we talked about it last season. What can we do now to support these businesses? We hear all the sayings and we see all the signs that say support Black, buy Black, all these things. What does that mean?
I mean, I don't want to rephrase your question, but not so much as, I mean, of course I'm going to support, again, like I said, I'm all things Black. We have to support each other, but as the business owners, like, I think it should be flipped. Like, what should we be doing? I'm not a business owner,
You're right.
but as an African-American business owner, what should we be doing? I feel like we've always, just given our history, African-Americans have always had to work harder. So I sometimes I don't get where the business owners don't get that they have to work harder as well.
You know, you're right. And as a business professor and as a person that has owned a couple businesses and this one, you know, the real issue is not necessarily the business owners that don't want to, it's the business owners that don't know how to. That's our biggest concern right now. We are here to help. We are here to support. We have a slew of expertise. We are the most picky of diners and consumers that you probably ever entertained. Not that you are here to cater to us, but we do speak for a large pocket of the population that says we want better, we want more, and we do want our consumers to be socially responsible in how they spend their money. And that means that what are we doing as business owners to make sure that they do it with us? So you have a really good point. It is on the business owners, but what happens to the mom and pop shop that just said, I know how to bake. All I want to do is bake these cupcakes and bake them to the best of my ability. I don't want to get into the business. You know, in the textbook we call it micropreneurs. But what do you say for those that are like, you know, I don't have to cater to you. I'm just here because I'm baking cookies.
Yeah, but I mean, if you want me to, granted, the cookies are very good. I've had some different items and products that have been amazing, but because the customer service was trash, like, I can go, I'm sure, it's almost like, and I always use this as a prime example, I've had some really good barbers in my life. I'm extremely picky about how my hair is cut and who cuts it. But I also always try to remind barbers that you are not the only one that can cook. So you are not the only one that can bake cookies. Like, so you have to do things to make yourself stand out and make your customers appreciate you. And it's crazy, excuse my French, it's simple shit.
It is.
It's so simple. Like, and I don't have a degree in business.
You don't have to
at all. But some of the shit, like, as a consumer, like, some of the shit is just common sense, and I'm like, how are we missing the mark? How are we missing that? I don't get that.
A lot of times we're missing the mark, and this is from a person that has volunteered on some business development plan organizations and boards. So this is not just me flying off the cusp. I have been given the opportunity to determine the feasibility and availability of resources for companies and organizations that want to start up from around the world. And what I'm discovering is one of the most common principles of their confusion is their lack of knowledge. They just don't know where they can go to change their marketing, and they just haven't been out in the industry enough to assess what the market actually needs. Well, this is what we're saying. Jump out there and start asking. Talk to your consumers. Visit Yelp. Do you use Yelp?
What? You know I use Yelp.
Oh, I do.
But my thing is this, and it's just like you said, all you have to do is listen to your customers.
Yes.
Because your customers are going to tell you, even the nicest customer who is, I would say, not picky, is still going to tell you what I would like to see or what I want.
Oh, absolutely. I have a prime example, and I'm going to go ahead and throw it out there because you know what? I'm a firm believer in, you know, in the classroom, we're supposed to be nice and coddle it and say things like, you know, you're only as smart as the weakest link in your group. No. You're only as smart as the dumbest person on your team, period. And you can zoom in on that and you can do whatever you want. It's true. Because if you've got Randy Dumbass representing your organization and he is speaking for your entire organization, then that is a representation of your entire organization. So therefore, upper management needs to make sure that Randy Dumbass ain't down here doing foolishness. Because I don't know, and I'm gonna be bold enough to say this. I don't know that the local alcohol and beverage store realizes that they have an employee out here speaking on their behalf that is a total detriment to their entire organization. And I'm not going to name their names because I'm sure they're not aware that Liz is out here doing them like this. Because according to this completed beverage experience, right? And I'll just leave it at that. Complete beverage experience location.
Is that what they say?
You know, that's what I'm going to call it. According to them, at this location, they only carry the Douce. And if you are unfamiliar with Douce is an alcohol beverage owned by African-American mogul by the name of Sean Carter, also known as Jay-Z. Well, as a consumer, I would like to...
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I know it's black owned, but I didn't know Jay-Z did. But okay.
Oh, absolutely. No. That's what we're here for. It's an educational program.
Right.
So as you go in, and I'm looking for this to support my black business, because they're doing it right, by the way. When they're doing it right, we like to support them. So I go into the completed beverage center and I said, hey, where can I find the Douce? And they said, oh yeah, it's behind the shelf. Behind the shelf, why? Because it's a known theft item. And I said, is there research to prove this? And Liz continued to tell me, that's what it is. It's come down from corporate. It's a high theft item. I said, well, unless you can prove to me that this is a high theft item in what we call in this, not I call it, I've been told by other people that my neighborhood is called All White Tukey. And I wonder why. You've heard that too, right? All White Tukey is the name of the area that I live in. And so you mean to tell me that in this area that is nicknamed as such, that the only time that I can purchase a black alcoholic beverages is behind your counter under security surveillance. And not only that, after the pure frustration, and I said, you know what, at the end of the day, you're not going to keep me from making my purchase and do what I need to do and support this black business. So go ahead and just give me the big bottle so we can move it along. No, you want to know what they gave me at the complete beverage center?
Complete beverage.
The option of a fifth. Because that's all they carried. And for those of you who don't know what a fifth is, I didn't even know what a fifth was. Apparently, it's the little flask bottle size that apparently they thought I was gonna jump in my purse and then just swig it like a wino.
Right.
I've never been so disgusted in my entire life. I've never felt so disrespected in an area where that I have been known to give you multiple streams of my revenue. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is not a one-time thing. So what can we say to the Liz's of the world, or even to the complete beverage centers of the world that don't know that Liz is representing them? And if Liz is representing them, what do we say to our people? Because what does that say to us?
You know, again, I just come back to customer service. And I remember when I don't know what I was doing, maybe like a server or something at the casino or something. But anyway, they will always say the customer is always right. So just going back to listening to your customer, if this is something, and I'm sure that this is not the first time that has happened at, what is it, Complete
Beverage Center. And if you're smart enough to Google, I'm sure you know which real beverage center I'm talking about.
I've never been one to really, I'm Costco type of man.
Oh, you know,
like big ball.
Because they have everything. They do cater to us in there.
But, you gotta listen to your customers and you gotta get with the times. Like, that, to me, that's totally unacceptable.
It is.
And I can say personally, I probably would never ever shop
I won't be there. I will not. And I've spread this news to other people with the real name of this complete beverage center, and they refuse to shop. They've said already vocally, and these are not black consumers that have said, I'm not going there.
I'm on Yelp right now.
Please do. Please do, because that's how important this is. This is where we are. Because I'm not going back in there if you're telling me that all of your African American consumers are considered winos. Or the ones that would buy a black purchased item, which is also very high end, considering some of the other stuff I've seen on your shelf. So why would this be a high theft item for a wino? I mean, last time I checked, it was Boone's Farming.
Yeah.
Right?
Definitely.
But again, so New York, there used to be a store called Black Liquor, and I still remember that, and it was actually owned by some African American men that decided that if we're going to spend this money in this industry, the least we can do is own a piece of it.
Right.
And so I used to drive out of my way to go to Black Liquor just to support their organization.
Mm-hmm.
Where can we find that kind of stuff now?
I know, right? That's a good question. And I was just thinking about that. Like I know myself, we do spend a lot of money on alcohol. Mm-hmm. So why don't we have these black owned?
Well, maybe Black Liquor can ship cross country. You know, we will find that out. But shout out to them, because at least they're jumping in the game. And I'm sure there's others that are jumping in this game and doing it well. However, there's some of us that ain't doing it so well.
Right. There are a lot of us that aren't doing it so well. And so when I say us, it's almost like FUBU, for us, by us. So like we're talking about our people. Like we have to do better.
We have to.
We have to. If we want to sustain and be able to be successful and profitable, like you got to step it up. And it's, again, I don't have a degree in customer service, hospitality, business, anything, but it's so simple. Mm-hmm. Like I'm telling you, like I can come into a restaurant, private example, and wait. You can have me waiting for 30 minutes to bring my drink order. Mm-hmm. But if you're communicating with me and saying, hey, I'm so sorry, we're a little behind, this is what's going on. It's all, and again, that goes back to customer service, communication.
Yes.
Communication and communicating the correct thing, because apparently Liz was not. But
well, maybe she was. That's
she was, but she wasn't. Right?
Absolutely. You know, and maybe, like I said, maybe the Complete Beverage Center doesn't realize Liz is saying this. But what happens when you're the small business owner and you are doing this? You are in complete control. And as a business professor and as an assistant to small businesses and advocate for micropreneurs, we still have to listen. Mm-hmm. Because there's a piece of your business in which you are not an expert in. There are pieces of your business in which you are not experts in. Mm-hmm. So you have to be willing to listen to an expert's advice to help steer your business. There's a reason why small companies, before they start, they're in incubators, right? Because an incubator business or a company is an organization that helps your baby business until it's strong enough to sustain on its own. And in those incubator systems, they have marketing, they have research and development, they have all kinds of management techniques to help you to be more successful. We talk all the time about what can we do. The simple shit, well, one is listening. Two, you cannot be so defensive in your business where it becomes your detriment. There are other people that are surrounding you. God will never put you on this earth to handle all of the pressures of the world by yourself. Because if that's the case, you're going to be back there flipping the burgers, seating the tables, mixing the drinks, because obviously you hired a team of experts, right? But what do we do to assure that those members of that team are executing the vision?
You have to educate them. They have to be educated on what the vision is. Did we just do that?
Yes! I mean, come on! You've got to let them know what the vision is. If you are the only one steering the ship and they don't know where you're going, eventually somebody's going to look up and say, oh shoot, there's an iceberg.
Yeah.
And you're like, I was down here in the kitchen. Who's driving? Right? Who's driving the decor in this house? That's what I want to know. Those types of things. Those types of things we need to figure out. Right. Because if the chef's driving it, then everybody needs to be following his orders. That means that is the most important thing in your business, is the chef's orders, the kitchen, whatever it is that you're serving. If you focus on one specialty, and then other people can kind of deal with the inefficiencies of some of the other things. But if everything is inefficient,
knowing your strengths.
Oh, if everything is inefficient, it's downhill. There's nowhere else to go. And we briefly jumped over and you were like, yes, I use Yelp. You and everybody else uses Yelp. What do you look at before you decide to either visit or not visit based on the Yelp reviews?
So normally if I'm going to a place that I haven't been before, I don't know, say for instance we had steaks last night. Like last night I took your word, but if it was a place that either one of us knew about, we would look at the reviews.
Yeah.
One, you're going to see the pictures. And pictures mean a lot, and they say a lot. And then you're going to see reviews. And if I see you have, and you know the crazy part is, every time I go to do something, I can't remember what was I looking for yesterday. Oh, massages. Now on Google, and it's always been this, like you can go from how the rating is, top rated. So I always go to top rated, because if I want something 4.5 and above.
Yes.
So not only the reviews, I look at the stars, and so of course the stars come from the reviews
Yes.
that people leave on Yelp.
And for me personally, I look at the response. I want to see what management did to handle this issue. If I just see there was a bunch of complaints and then no response at all, I'm like, I don't want to go there.
And the reality of it is, and this is from my experience with Yelp, it's very, 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 very few places that you see the reviews that they actually, the managers or the place actually comes and say, hey, how can we fix this? It's very few, very, very few.
Very few, but when they do exist, you return. One, they're giving you something to return for. A better experience, a chance for them to redo it. Now, and when they ask you to redo it, 90% of the time it won't be at your cost.
Right.
They'll usually comp or they'll give something to make me want to come back in. And if you're not doing this, businesses, you should be doing this. This is our way of giving you the simple shit that you can tweak. You know, don't make people pay for your mess ups.
Right.
I know that this season I've been bartending and waitressing, and people are like, why is she bartending? Well, because one, it's fun, and two, why not? I haven't been drinking as much, well, I have, but you know, it cuts out and manages your activities if you're actually working on the times when you're not supposed to be doing those activities. So for me, it saves me money and it saves me time and it saves me the headache. But for bartending, for me, it's an outlet to give people an experience that they may not have. And I know that they have chosen to risk their lives and they're choosing to spend their money to come and sit down with us and to join us and to just engage in an experience that they never had before, or at least a better one. So when we're working in that customer service field, I just want to help businesses because we're here to help black businesses. We're not just here to shut y'all down. We're not here to complain about it. We're just here to help you do better. So what other recommendations besides fixing the Yelps, right? Hiring people that care about customer service, getting everybody on board with the organizational vision, what else can we do from the consumer side that would say, you know what, you care?
Right. You just said something. When I if I go to a bar, I'm just thinking about, you know, hey, again, one, I've risked basically my health to come here to have a drink. And then two, I could be on a budget. You know, if you want to talk about some real stuff, I'm on a budget. So if I go into this place and I'm on a budget, but I have this amazing service, I didn't have to spend a whole lot of money, and I like to drink, so I come out of there with a buzz, I'm gonna be like, hell yeah, like this was a good experience. Like, and again, I'm telling you, it goes communication. People don't realize that how far it takes you, because I've been to places where the service was just okay, but the bartender communication was good. Hey, how was that drink? And I'm like, I don't know about this one. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's stuff like that. It's simple. Again, if I say nothing else when it comes to customer service, it's just communication and listening to your customers. Like, I feel like, and maybe I will own a restaurant or something one day, but I feel like that will take you so damn far. So far.
When you hear things like, this food isn't made with love, that tells you that everything in that organization is not doing something out of love. Because if the main premise of your purpose is not done out of love, then why are you doing it?